One of the reasons why I left my $300,000 job and started my own company, where now we teach experts how to sell and license their services to corporations after landing many of my own corporate contracts, is because of this moment right here. I went to an event and I talked to a partner, and y'all know I came from big law, meaning I worked at one of the largest law firms in the world. I was the only Black woman in litigation. There were not many Black partners, period, especially those who had equity, which means you're like high paid, you have some ownership interest in the firm. I found, though, a Black partner who had equity. I go to him and I'm like, hey, I want to talk to you about what it looks like being a Black equity partner. Like, how does that feel? How does that look? And he basically told me he didn't have any power. And he was like, I don't have a big enough book of business to be able to make things happen. And I'll never forget, I had an issue at the firm, and you always, when you're one of the only Blacks, like, you kind of have other mentors that are also Black. I had mentors that were white too, but you know what I'm saying. So I go to him and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on in the firm. I really need this to happen. Your equity partner, is there anything you could do? And he was like, I'm gonna be real, I don't have any power. And I think that's when I realized that your paycheck does not equal power. If you are working within a system that is inherently racist and/or where you don't have enough of the business, you don't impact the bottom line enough to move the needle, you never will have power. You're always gonna be in a more powerful position when you're able to impact the bottom line. Even if you look across business owners, the business owners in this country that have the most political power, the most social power, are the ones who have the largest businesses, and thus they impact the market, and thus they impact the economy at a greater rate than those who don't.